back to the YouTube channel I pro and do vids, and this is my now Manly Warringah Sea Eagles 2023 NRL season preview. So did the Titans just before, now time to do my beloved Manly Warringah Sea Eagles. And look, it's probably going to be a very clear review because I know what goes on at that club, and obviously I've got a better understanding of Manly than most clubs. But yeah, look, obviously I'll try not to be too biased as much as possible, but look, I think for Manly in general, it's going to be a very interesting year because new coach and Seabold being there now, which I like, by the way, and new coaching staff, some new players, I guess, there as well. Look, overall, not a different to last year's squad, but, you know, obviously there is some minor changes there. But, yeah, look, obviously going to start with the best 1 to 17, so I can already say this at the top of my head, really. So on to my best 1 to 17 for the Manly team. So again, this is what I'd pick, not what I think everyone else would pick or what I think they'll do, but just what I personally would pick if I was selecting this Manly side. But fullback, Tom Trbojevic. On the wingers, Jason Saab and Christian Tuipulotu. In the centres, I'd have Tolu Kola and Ruben Garrick. My halves would be Josh Schuster and Daly Cherry-Evans as the captain. My props would be Josh Aloye and Taniela Paseka with hooker Lachlan Croker. And back rows would be Hamoli Olakawatu and Kelma Tulangi and lock Jake Trbojevic. And off the bench, I would have jersey 14 being Carl Lawson and Ethan Bullimore, Sean Kepi and Tafafal Sipley. Now look, obviously I'm not sold on that bench because I think there'll be some changes on that bench across the season, but 1 to 13, I think it pretty much picks itself. I think that's going to be 1 to 13 anyway. Could be a surprise tweak in there, but I think that's going to be the team that they'll select. So interesting to see what happens, but yeah, that's my team there for Manly. On to the club's strengths for 2023. And, you know, everyone's going to say that Manly have lost so much, and because Des is gone and because, you know, they've treated him like shit, you know, they don't have too much strengths and don't have too much going for them in 2023, which, mind you, is not true because there's a lot of good things to look out for this side in 2023. But, look, some of the main strengths, I believe, for Manly are, you know, having Tom there would be massive if he plays over 15 games. I think if Tom plays over 15 games, because his influence on Manly is unreal, I think Manly can make the top 8. So, yeah, need Tom to play at least 15 games, and I think we could be near the 8. But I'd say our backline. Our backline's a big strength because it's one of the fastest in the comp. I've got to say, Saab, Kohler, Garrick, Turbo, DC's reasonably quick as well. You know, I've got to say, that's one of the quickest backlines I've seen. You know, that itself will be interesting to see who's the fastest out of all of them. I reckon my money's on Saab, but yeah, Cole or Garrick are speed demons too, don't get me wrong. So I think our backline has potential. Obviously, Cole and Garrick in the centres is a big upgrade, I believe. So look, I'm assuming they'll start in the centres. Maybe Harper or Parker might get a go there, but I think at the moment it seems Garrick and Cole might get an opportunity there. But yeah, no, look, our backline looks pretty strong, I think. I think the massive wild card is obviously Josh Schuster and what he'll provide. And look, I'm telling you now, he'll have a big year if he keeps his good potential. You know, I guess if he keeps the errors and fixes them up and sort of keeps them you know, below sort of over the top errors and stuff like that, well, he'll be in for a big year. So I think the speed in our backline and the quality there is a big thing for us this year. Another strength, I believe, for us is obviously the back rowing pairing. Now, I have some concerns with our prop depth and stuff, but I think our back rowers in Olakawatu and Tulangi will be very strong. Like, that has potential to be one of the best back row pairings in the comp, in my opinion, if they get it right. So, yeah, obviously Olakawatu's proven he's a freak. Tulangi's obviously proven that he has potential to be a good, consistent first grader. You know, at Tigers was one of the only real shining lights, I thought, across their whole 2022 season. So I think if Olakawatu and Tulangi both perform to their best, then that could be really a freakish combination. So I'm going to say that's some of our strengths coming to 2023. Now, onto the club's weaknesses for 2023. And yeah, I did sort of give it away before, which is the props. And I think the props need to step up, if anything. Now, look, I assume our starting props will be Aloye and Paseka. Look, obviously Paseka has massive potential and obviously is on his day a freakish front rower who can bust the line, and obviously his potential to be one of the best for sure. But I just feel like, I guess, some injuries are setting back a little bit. Obviously, if he gets consistent game time, he'll reach his full potential, and I believe he'll be a freak and someone to look out for. But look, I guess injuries have sort of set him back, and I guess there's some games where probably he needs to do a bit more. But look, I'm not saying that he is the issue here, because he's not, and I think he's going to be a fantastic front rower this year, because he'll be starting, so it'll be big to see how he goes. And but I think there's a lot more he can do, and I think it's his year to shine. So I hope it's the year for Paseka. Aloiai, as the other front rower, look, obviously his experience is big, and he's a good leader for the young Islander boys, and he's obviously someone who's always leading by example. I think he's a good role model for the young Islander lads, but I think his leadership too in the front row is pretty good. But yeah, obviously just a bit like Paseka, could do a bit more, and had some injuries as well. So look, you can't control too much when there's injuries and stuff like that. But yeah, obviously I think our forwards did get a bit dominated last year, so that's why I'm only thinking that it'd be good to see Aloiai and Paseka, who might be a starting prop combination, to step up a bit more. But that goes for the other props. Like I think Kepi, Sipley are in for big years, hopefully. I think Bullimore, if he gets more game time in the middle, because he's not a back rower like he was played at last year. So I think hopefully Seabold sees him as a front rower going forward, and yeah, his leg drive in the middle will be dangerous. So and you've got Ben Condon, who's a new recruit there too. So I think our middles are building, but it's just that will it improve after what happened last year, because they got dominated, I thought, too many times. So I think our forwards need to really step up, and it's still a weakness in my opinion, but I think there's every chance they can step up, so hopefully that's the case. Okay, on to the club's best signing now for 2023, and in my opinion, it's between two players. It's obviously our only signings, or maybe three, but yeah, Kelman Tuilagi, Ben Condon, Cooper Johns, and out of them three, I'm going to say probably Kelman Tuilagi as our best signing. I think Kelma has, like I said, he's proven at Tigers he can be a player full potential and a good consistent first grader. I guess he had some odd moments, or not odd moments, but just sort of had fade out moments at Tigers. But honestly, it's the Tigers, so who wouldn't have that patch of weird form, I guess. But look, Tuilagi is having a fresh start at Manly, signed there for the next 3 years, and obviously if him and Olakau'atu get going in that back row, far out, it's going to be hard to stop. So I think he's our best signing. I think him playing for Samoa in the World Cup will give him a big confidence booster as well. So I think, he will have to be our best signing. I think Ben Condon's a real roughie to shock some people this year, but I think because Tuilagi is guaranteed to start, I think he will be in for a big year. So I'm expecting big things from Kelma. On to our worst loss of 2023, and in my opinion, it's a no-brainer. It's probably going to be Kieran Foran, but there's a twist. And that twist is that I believe our bigger loss is going to be Dylan Walker for 2023. Okay, look, I think there's a couple of reasons why Dylan Walker is our biggest loss. Number one, because he changed our attack when he came on the field. His momentum off the bench was incredible. And ever since that experiment of him in the Jersey 14 role that started in 2021, it's worked ever since. And I think his ball movement and his ruck speed around the middle definitely benefited us. So I think we'll miss a bit of that actually from Walker. Look, I always thought his best position was in the centres, and I don't think we used him properly at times. But I think just what he brought to the club will be big as it will show his presence will be lost a bit, I think. So I'd say he's our bigger loss than Kieran Foran. Now, I won't complain if people say Kieran... Oh, shit. I won't complain if people say Kieran Foran's our biggest loss, because obviously he's a club legend, and obviously he's our most experienced player outside DCE. But I think with Schuster coming up, it makes sense he had to go, because Schuster's our future, and obviously you prioritise those rookies. But it's obviously between Foran and Walker, but I think Walker's impact from the Jersey 14 role is going to be missed, because I can't see guys like Lordson, Roach, Weeks potentially being in contention to step up the same way as he did. Maybe I'll be wrong, but yeah, it's going to be big shoes to fill for Walker. Alright, on to Manly's top 5 games in my opinion for 2023. So I'm just going through the draw right now and looking, it's not an order, it's just a random top 5 I'm giving. But, you know, I'm going to say some of our top 5 games for this year will probably be, I think the one at Glenn Stadium will be pretty good between Manly and Knights in round 5. I know my top 5. I mean, round 1 will be good between Dogs and Manly at 4 Pines Park. Like, I'll be there. But I'm going to say top 5, round 7, Manly and Storm at 4 Pines Park on the Friday night there. I think that's going to be a big game actually, because these two sides have a lot of history, obviously, they're rivals. And, you know, I think it'd be good to see how Manly shape up as a bit of a different side this year, going against Melbourne, who have obviously lost a bit coming to this year, but still are a threat. So I think that's a game that is in my top 5, Manly and Storm at 4 Pines Park and obviously at Brookvale. So yeah, I think that's always going to be a highly anticipated type match. Also in my top 5, I'm going to say that Manly and Broncos at Magic Round would be huge, because now I'm going to make this pretty bold. And actually, no, it's not that bold, because knowing Fox League and the media, I think I'm probably going to do that. But I think Seabold versus Broncos is going to overshadow the whole sort of talk and what the round is supposed to be, which is the Magic Round. That whole topic itself, Seabold versus the Broncos, because of his coaching history there, that there is going to sort of overshadow what this round really about, and it's Magic Round, where every club goes to the one ground in Brisbane at Suncorp Stadium, and I'll be there too, by the way. And yeah, that's going to overshadow it, that whole Seabold versus Broncos thing. But yeah, that's in my top 5, because I think that's going to be a big game. Tefau gets his old club too, so a bit of history between both sides. So we'll see how that one pans out. The next week, Manly take on the Sharks at 4 Pines Park 2, round 11. That's going to be big. Let's see. I'm going to say this is my top 5 too. I know they play back in round 3 at 4 Pines Park too, but Eels and Manly at Combank Stadium round 16. I think this is in my top 5 for a couple of reasons too, because obviously we were robbed. I don't care what anyone says. We were robbed last year against them. So I think that, yeah, no, I don't want to talk about it because I got pretty mad that night, and yeah. Anyway, but yeah, I think we're going to be out for some redemption in this game, because, you know, Eels, you know, won luckily and they shouldn't have, but, you know, at Combank they had a lucky win, and obviously we sort of just, you know, felt done, and we were. So I think at the same ground, and it's a new year, I think we'll look for some redemption there. I mean, we've actually played well against the Eels in recent times at Combank too, so I think we can give them a real shake and challenge. On to the next one. So 2 more to go. I'm going to say the next one, probably, that is one to look out for. I reckon Dolphins v Manly in round 15 is another one. I think because it's the first time these two sides play against each other, and it's on a Friday night at 4 Pines Park too. It's interesting because, you know, not many people would have this as a main game on the Friday, but I guess it's there and I'm looking forward to it. So I think personally for me, I'd have that in my top 5. And last but not least, yeah, actually going back to round 11, Sea Eagles v Sharks at 4 Pines Park is going to be big as well. Obviously the Sharks embarrassed us last year in August there, and I think we'll be out for some redemption and hopefully get the bounce back against them, because our record against the Sharks is incredible. Even though the Sharks have defeated us in recent times, I still think that we hold the wood over them. So I think we'll be out to get redemption after what happened last year. But there's my top 5 games for us. On to the player that has to step up the most, in my opinion, for 2023. And look, obviously there's quite a bit to pick from. And I know it's a bit unfair, I guess, but, you know, I think, obviously I've defended this bloke quite a bit because I believe his criticism's unfair. And I do think that he will be a great player in the making one day. But I'd say the player that has to step up the most for Manly in 2023 is Josh Schuster. I think Schuster, obviously, being the 5'8", being a lot fitter this year because he's lost 15 kgs, which is a statement. So, believe it or not, he's making a progress, and I think he's in for a big year if he gets it right. Like, I think Shuey is working hard, and I think that the results will come off the back of that. So, I think the good thing about Schuster going at 5'8" is his real role. You know, that's his real preferred position because he's played in the juniors there, and that's where he's come up from, being a 5'8". So back row, yeah, he's great there, but it's always been 5'8", and I think that's why forward had to go, because Schuster's potential's through the roof, and yeah, the potential he has is fantastic. So you got to focus on the future, I think. So it's a risk, I know, but I'm prepared to say that Schuster's in for a big year, and I believe in him 100%. So I think Schuster's the one that needs to have the big year. And on to my final prediction for the club this year in 2023. Now, I guess I'm going to get called biased, but whatever. But you got to back your team. And I'm backing my team because I'm backing the boys to make the top 8 in 2023. That's, obviously it's going to rest in the hands of Tom Trbojevic and how much games he plays. It's also going to rest on how Seabold approaches the game and how he goes coaching these bunch of players. And yeah, it's obviously a very different type of year to what we've had in the past. So good changes, I think. Good changes that will benefit our club, and I've made it clear that I think Seabold and all these new changes have to happen. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it transpires on the field. But for now, I have Manly finishing 8th in 2023. I was very tempted to have Manly at 6 because I think that we can go as high as that if we reach our full potential and play it to the best we can. But I'll go safe and say we'll finish 8th in 2023. I am confident that a finals spot could be coming, but again, a lot of clubs are improving, so we could miss out, but I think we're going to be in the mix anyway. But anyways, everyone, that's my 2023 Manly Warringah Sea Eagles 2023 NRL season preview. Thank you for watching. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and comment your thoughts on Manly in 2023. Where do you see Manly coming, and what are your main thoughts on them for this year? But take care, everyone. See you all in the very next preview.